wawaka mama moto wawaka.
Moto 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 guli waka kabamba
wawaka.
Moto
Wawaka wawaka
moto guli waka kiboga
wawaka. Wawaka wawaka
moto guli waka Lwamata
wawaka. Wawaka wawaka
moto guli waka Katera
wawaka. Wawaka wawaka
moto guli waka Bukomero
wawaka. Wawaka wawaka
moto wawaka mama moto wawaka.
Moto wawaka mama moto.
On 26 January 1986, NRA guerrillas toppled a military junta led by General Tito Okello and Basilio, which had also staged a coup d'etat that toppled Obote II regime on 27 July 1985. The pre-1986 Uganda's era was characterized with political turmoil, economic stagnation, politics hinged on religious divisions, extrajudicial killings, ideological bankruptcy, and lack of constitutionalism, among others.
When you want to understand properly the goodness of NRM, you have to look at the post-independent governments, what happened between 62 up to 86. You may find that those who are 20 years, are they 20 years? I think, 20 plus years. But those were years of darkness. And I think for us, we went back into the darker ages, which Europe had gone through in the 60s, 1600s and 1500s and 1400s. So we went back into those darker years, and then we came back into reconnaissance. So what you are saying, 86 were the years of reconnaissance. So we had now come from the darker years into the lighter years.
Now, with 11 days left to the 38 years of NRM Liberation Day celebrations, we bring to you Honorable Kyofatogyabye Kabuye, the State Minister for Kampala Metropolitan Affairs, a product of the Luweero Triangle revolutionists, highlighting about the NRM Liberation.
This government, the first gift it gave to Ugandans was the gift of peace. And it demystified the fact that the country should always be peaceful in order to develop. That one alone has opened up space. I don't want to say where we are now exporting peace, where we are, why we are very important in Africa now, but the most important thing is that Uganda tasted for the first time 40 years of uninterrupted peace, save for the skirmishes we had in the north. But you know, even them, now the last 10, 15, almost coming to 20 years, they had never heard of a blade. Uganda now tasted peace, and that is the level of development and the speed at which you're seeing the personal developments are going on. Then macro development as a country.
Kyofatogyabye says that before 1986, the previous years were dark years characterized with insecurity. Not until NRA captured Uganda, that's when Uganda started realizing peace and stability under the leadership of His Excellency Luweero Kaguta Museveni.
And why they demystified these facts, including the army, they brought in the women. Now everyone get involved. Remember, by that time, the army was also regionally based, tribal. So we demystified the tribalistic and the tribalism kind of thinking in the army. Everyone now is free. From Chisolo border to Karamoja to Diarua to Busoga, everyone can now join the forces. And that's why what we did to control the space was the quota system. That they give a district quota of when they are enlisting or when they are recruiting. So everyone is free to be recruited. The other day I was telling the youth, please, as long as you are energetic, you've studied, you've gone to UPE up to senior 4, I don't want to know how did you pass. You can now fit to go in the army.
After the removal of Idi Amin Dada, Milton Obote, Tito Okello and other leaders of that era, Minister Kyofatogyabye claims that Uganda truly experienced peace for the first time.
This government, the first gift it gave to Ugandans was the gift of peace. and demystified the fact that the country should always be peaceful in order to develop. That one alone has opened up space.
Honaichofa adds that even the army was regionally based on tribalism, unlike the current UPDF army, where everyone is free to be recruited in the army.
The army, the government first demystified the gun. After removing that myth of the gun, then the government also demystified the fact that the country should always be there in wars. Because the post, that's why I said when you want to understand properly the goodness of NRM, you have to look at the post-independent governments, what happened between 62 up to 86. You may find that those were 20 years, are they 20 years? I think, 20 plus years. But those were years of darkness. And I think for us, we went back into the darker ages, which Europe had gone through in the 60s, 1600s and 1500s and 1400s. So we went back into those darker years, and then we came back into reconnaissance. So what you are seeing, 86 were the years of reconnaissance. So we had now come from the darker years into the lighter years.
Moreover, Kabuye asserts that as a result of the peace and security reinstated following NRM's assumption of power, it has facilitated uninterrupted business operations and allowed individuals to work without any disruptions.
By stimulus, people just work. Out of the blue, people just work. Now people can travel, and the roads are accompanied with the peace, because in Uganda we don't sleep, we don't lock the country at night. Everyone is free. It is only your sleep which will make you stay somewhere, and maybe you wake up in the morning and you continue on your journey. I think this is where really we've achieved the most. Now a lot of strides are being done on water, on railways, the airlines.
This year's NRM celebrations will be held at Wachitaka Playgrounds in Jinja City, with President Luweero Kaguta Museveni expected to preside over the ceremony. Julius Mumuza, Church of Uganda Family TV, News at 8.
Mama moto wawaka,
moto wawaka, mama moto wawaka,
moto wawaka, mama moto wawaka,
moto wawaka, mama moto wawaka,
moto buli waka kabamba,
wawaka, wawaka, wawaka,
moto buli waka kiboga,
wawaka, wawaka, wawaka,
moto buli waka lwamata,
wawaka, wawaka, wawaka,
moto buli waka katera,
wawaka, wawaka, wawaka,
moto buli waka bukomero,
wawaka, wawaka, wawaka,
moto wawaka, mama moto wawaka,
moto wawaka, mama moto